Safety first. Didn't know I was gonna need my life jacket, so we just borrowed a couple from the great state of Georgia. They have their little share a vest program. All right, Bassmaster Elite Series Pro Drew Benton, talking a little bit about grass settings when I'm looking for brush piles. When I'm looking for brush piles, I want to cover as much ground or as water, I guess you would say, as you can. So I keep this thing zoomed out at about 140 to 120 feet on each side. Now what that's going to do, anything that I see out here that casts a significant shadow, like you see this tree right here, that looks really small on here. But actually, that's a pretty substantial brush pile when it shows up that size on here. So what I can do is I can hit a waypoint on that, zoom over there, hit a waypoint, save. It's gonna show me on this map where that's actually at. I'll continue my path, and I'm basically gonna make a grid. And every time I mark something that looks like it could be something substantial, I'll just mark it. And I'll leave me, a minefield of dots out here. And then I'll turn around and I'll zoom it on in here to 80 or 100 feet or even 60 feet. And you can actually idle right over that dot and see exactly what it is. See if it's a fresh brush pile. See if there's actually fish in it suspended around it. See if there's fish, kind of using the outside of it. Or like on, one of my home lakes, Lake Eufaula, see if the bluegill are spawning around it. Look for those craters. That all tells you pieces of the puzzle that you're trying to figure out. And it all is according to how you have this thing set up and how well you can see. Obviously, when I have it zoomed in, look at the detail that you see on that brush right there. You see every limb of that brush. That's not the pile I marked, but that's something that you won't see when you're zoomed out at 120, 140 feet. I'm about to come up on the dot that I actually marked, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I get me a good line up. I'm actually going to zoom it into 60 because we're going to go right over top of this thing. It's probably, now that I'm seeing all this timber, it's probably just a treetop that has broke over, but we're about to find out. Yeah, that's what it is. See, it's a treetop. It's laying down on the bottom. It's basically broke over from the standing timber. And there's some fish suspended around it. You see those fish right there? You can't see them when it's zoomed out, 120, 140 feet. When you have it zoomed in, you can tell what's there and what you're going to be fishing. Boat somebody lost. It still has a motor on it.
That's wild.
That's clear. That's the whole idea behind that clean power and running it to every graph individually with that harness, is having such a clear image. That's from that boat that just came by. He's got it stirred up. At first I thought it might have been bait. That's just too big. Look, that little rock vein, you can see the little fish. There's one there and one there. Just pops so good. There's actually a couple fish over there to our left. They're probably just up in the water column and you're just getting their shadows. Those are just a couple settings, a couple ways that I search for brush out here. If you're not getting that clear of an image, or you're not able to see, tell what you're looking at, be sure to check out and contact SonarPros.